This is MFT RAW and here is some camera news. Apple have decided to make a cinema camera. Now, we know that with the Apple brand loyalty thing that this statement alone could be enough to get people checking their bank accounts to see if they could afford a cinema camera designed by Apple. But before you get too excited, this is a cinema camera designed specifically to create video for the Apple Vision Pro. And even if Apple were making it available to the public, which they're not for now at least, I would imagine it would have a six-figure price tag. There is no actual word on the pricing just yet, but being Apple and being a cinema camera and being able to shoot in 3D, well, none of those things sound particularly cheap to me. The camera uses two sensors, one for each eye, which can record up to 8K resolution on each, with a 180-degree field of view. When shooting, everything always remains in focus, so depth of field would probably have to be added artificially. Shooting with this camera adds a whole lot of extra challenges, as all the lights and all the filming equipment have to be well behind the camera and out of its 180-degree field of view. This forces filmmakers to carefully plan and compose their shots. The camera can also capture spatial audio, which I can imagine would add a whole new level of immersiveness. It is thought that this camera uses two 8K capable micro four thirds sensors, which are considered large sensors when used in a stereoscopic camera, along with two fixed angle lenses. Apple have recently released a trailer for the first movie shot with the Apple 8K cinema camera called Submerged, a claustrophobic thriller about a World War II submarine crew under fire. If you want to know more about Submerged, I will leave a link in the description below. Fujifilm have now announced the X-M5, a new APS-C camera aimed at, yep, you guessed it, vloggers. Yes, that's right, we now have another small, classically styled, electronic viewfinderless, interchangeable lens camera that even has a vlog mode on the top dial, which promises to make shooting yourself a little bit easier by switching up the interface while the screen is flipped out facing you. The bigger channels have already got their hands-on videos out already, but there is a press release, so I will give you the rundown of the specs here. First, I'm going to start with the price because I do think it's a bit of a bargain, all things considered. £799 or €899 for the body only, and just £100 more for the kit, which comes with the XC 15-45 lens. For that, you get the older 26.1 megapixel backside illuminated X-Trans sensor, but you do get the new X Processor 5. There is internal video recording at up to 6.2K, 30 frames per second in 422 10-bit. That, however, is using the full height of the sensor, so if you do shoot 16:9, then the resolution will max out at 4K 60p. Slow motion can hit 240 frames per second in 1080p. Being designed for the vloggers means that there is a vertical shoot in short movie mode, which will give you a 16:9 image, something for the TikTokers. There is a film simulation dial on the top, giving access to 20 different film looks. Inside there are 3 microphones with selectable directivity for surround, back, front and back together, as well as a steady state noise reduction feature, which can filter out drowning sounds like air conditioners or the fan from a video light, for example. There's AI subject detection with its autofocus that's available for cars, planes, drones, animals, etc. There is actually a special autofocus selection for birds and insects. And this is all packed into a really compact body that only weighs 335 grams. Now for me, this is a better proposition for a vlogging camera compared to Panasonic's recent S9, which is pretty much the same thing, although the Lumix is full frame. Personally, I don't think full frame is a feature that many Instagrammers or TikTokers, vloggers will be interested in. So an APS-C version to me makes far more sense, and it manages to keep the price down. That's why this undercuts the S9 by a whole lot. DJI have now released the Air 3S, and it is available to buy now for £959 for the drone by itself, or £1,239 for the Fly More combo, which includes the RCN3 remote, a set of ND filters, the charging hub, and 2 additional batteries. Or you could grab the RC2 Fly More combo with the RC2 remote controller, which has a 5.5-inch 1080p screen, the ND filters, the charging hub, and 2 more batteries for £1,439. All the leaks do seem to be correct, with a 50 megapixel 1-inch main sensor with a 24mm lens and a 47 megapixel secondary 1/1.3 incher with a 70mm lens. Both cameras have up to 14 stops of dynamic range and can record video at 4K 60 and 4K 120 frames per second. The Air 3S will be equipped with a state-of-the-art Nightscape omnidirectional obstacle sensing system that will create a 360-degree bubble of awareness around the aircraft, giving it the ability to detect and avoid obstacles in all directions, even in poor lighting conditions. The full obstacle avoidance hardware consists of a forward-facing LiDAR, 2 downward-facing time-of-flight sensors, and 6 lateral vision sensors, which is a big step up from the Air S2, which didn't have any obstacle awareness when moving sideways. There is also an upwards-facing infrared sensor. The forward-facing LiDAR on the Air 3S has a range of between 0.5 of a meter and 25 meters at night, or between 1.6 feet and 82 feet. The LiDAR system will be effective in environments with a lux lower than 20,000, the equivalent of an overcast day. There are many advantages to using a LiDAR detection system over a traditional camera and sensor. Its effectiveness in low light, for example, is one. LiDAR uses pulses of light, which is why it would possibly be less effective in bright sunshine, but it can also capture multiple returns from a single pulse of light, allowing it to detect partially obstructed objects. It also uses a near-infrared wavelength, which is able to see through small particles much better in the air than visible light. This gives it the ability to see through smoke and fog and safely navigate through very challenging conditions. The camera really does look good from these promo images, I have to say. The Air 3S is alleged to have 15 times better low light performance than the previous Air 3. Now, bear in mind that the Air 3 has 2 smaller 1/1.3 inch sensors. The Air 3S has one large sensor at 1 inch and one smaller 1/1.3, so perhaps most of those gains are just coming from having a bigger sensor alone. The claimed flight time is 45 minutes, really impressive. It is capable of 10-bit 1080p video transmission. There's a dongle so you can use 4G to keep a good video signal with the drone for an incredible 20 kilometers. We've got 42 gigabytes of built-in storage, which is kind of what we need to have more and more with all kinds of cameras, I think. Active Track 360, which can plan out your route and always keep the subject in frame. This really does seem to be an amazing bit of kit for the price, and I'm going to try and get my hands on one for a review as soon as possible. I do own an Air 2S, and the image quality coming from that 1 inch sensor in the Air 2S is really nice. So with all the upgrades for the 3S, I'm going to be really interested to find out how they compare. So let me know if you want to see that. And finally, you don't have long to go to get your entries in for the 2024 Leica Women Photo Project Award. Unlike the Viltrox Awards that we reported on a couple of weeks ago, you don't need to have used Leica gear to take part in this competition. The theme for this year's award is Perspective is Power, Reclamation, Resilience, Rebirth, expressed through the feminine perspective. To be considered, you just need to submit 10 images made between 2021 and 2024, and I assume be a woman? It doesn't actually state that in the terms and conditions, but I can imagine that, yeah, you need to be a woman. Winners of each of the categories will receive a Leica SL2S camera, a Leica Vario Elmar SL24 to 70 f2.8, and $10,000 in cash for their next photo project. Last day for admissions is November the 7th, 2024, and the winners will be announced on the 8th of March next year. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This was our news show. This is the one we do weekly, but we also do reviews. I've just posted my thoughts on the new DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, and I'd love for you to go and check it out if you're interested in that. But for now, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.